Market hoping for a Powell pivot, got a Powell poop instead. That's coming up on 3 minutes on Markets and Money. Yesterday saw the most volatile 90 minutes in market history yesterday as stocks initially rallied very sharply following the Fed announcement of that 75 basis point rate hike. Well expected. Comments from the statement says, hey, we're focusing on the economy and inflation, right in line with what was expected. And then Powell started his press conference. Within the next 30 minutes, the market plunged over 2% heading into the market close as comments from Powell said, we are nowhere close to finishing hiking rates. We're focused on inflation. We see no evidence that is coming down. And importantly, what he said, and what was overlooked by markets, he said, it's okay if we over-tighten and crash something because we have the tools to support economic growth. What he means, of course, is that they're just going to keep hiking rates. When something finally breaks, then they'll go back to QE and zero interest rates and go back to flooding the markets with liquidity. Markets kind of overlooked that statement, but they focus on the fact that we're nowhere near a rate hike peak just yet by the Fed. Stocks sold off. Now, bad news is, broke the 50-day moving average yesterday, clipped through 3,800, which was that support, currently sitting right on top of the 20-day moving average. If we break through that level today, there's nothing stopping the market from retesting these lows that we saw back in late September, and of course that led to that early October rally. It's important to focus on the fact, though, that really markets haven't gone anywhere for the last several months. We've actually been just kind of trapped in a trading range here that has been really kind of running sideways now for the last several months. We broke above it, we broke below it, but we keep kind of migrating back towards this average trading range in stocks. While it feels really terrible in the marketplace and like, man, nothing just is going up ever again, markets really have not gone much of anywhere. So again, as we move into the end of the year, there are some things to be looking forward to. There's lots of cash on the books of portfolio managers right now that have to be put back to work for year-end reporting. Stock buybacks, of course, back into the markets. We've got midterm elections next week. Gridlock there could be a boost for stocks here in the near term. But again, the focus is going to remain on the Fed, inflation, and interest rates. That's going to be a pressure downward on stocks. So this rally that we've seen, again, still well within this defined downtrend of the markets, does suggest markets can go lower here. So again, don't dismiss that fact at all, but also don't overreact to yesterday's announcement because again, the markets really haven't done much. Outside of that, our MACD buy signal, of course, is starting to narrow. That could turn lower here. If that triggers back into a sell signal, that's going to suggest lower prices. Worth paying attention to. Markets were getting overbought. We're now working that off fairly quickly. That'll probably get mostly worked off today with the market close. So again, as we start to talk about markets, where we finish this week, what'll be important today, holding that 20-day moving average, a failure there. We've got to hold those supports going back to that late September low. Outside of that, we'll be watching news flow on Friday. Of course, we have the employment report. A really strong employment report is going to start to put more pressure on stocks as well. So again, risk here is elevated. Pay attention to your stock positioning. Raise a little bit of cash if you need to. I'm your host, Lance Roberts, for 3 minutes on Markets and Money. See you back here tomorrow. The markets were hoping for a Fed pivot, but markets hoping yesterday for a Powell pivot, but got a Powell. I need something. Fed was hoping for a Fed, markets hoping for a Fed pivot, but got a Powell. Fed peed in the punch bowl. Can't do that. What's another word for poop? Excrement. Markets hoping for a Fed pivot, got a Powell faux pas instead. Got a Powell pill. A Powell pill. I'm actually kind of migrating towards Powell poop. This is not for public consumption anyway, so we're going to go with it.